Welcome back to another installment of Nightmares and News. I'm your host, Bumps in the Night, and here's the news. Tabletop RPG Paint the Town Red aims for a deeper vampiric story. Being a vampire in a tabletop RPG is nothing new. With Paint the Town Red, not to be confused with Southeast Games' Beat 'em Up of the same name, Soul Muppet Publishing aims to go deeper than usual tropes, exploring themes of trauma, vice, and loneliness. Created by Zachary Cox, known for his work on Orbital Blues, Inevitable, and Best Left Buried, with art direction from John Knorr, known for his work on Morkborg, Cyborg, and Into the Odd, Paint the Town Red is a game that will make you question your character's motives, happiness, and what it means to be alive, and is currently available in a 94-page quick start book. Your characters are vampires afflicted with the curse of undeath, but being dead doesn't feel the greatest. In fact, the goal of every character in the game is to chase the sensation of feeling alive, and escape the rot they feel in their soul. Set in the greatest cities throughout history, the dead mass together to form an active nightlife. In fact, sessions of Paint the Town Red feel more like boozy nights out on the town than heroic quests. With characters having pre-drinks, listening to loud music, smoking areas, and hangovers, this all sets the stage for the game's first adventure, a modern Babylon. Taking place on the streets of Victorian London in 1862, characters in a modern Babylon will become embroiled in London's nightlife, facing off against gangs of werewolves, undead agents of the British Empire, and even a lich who dwells in the Tower of London. The full game will arrive on Kickstarter in September 2024, and will feature 3 new adventures in addition to a modern Babylon, expanding the campaign across thousands of years. It will also feature GM's advice on running the game, other types of undead for characters to use, such as zombies, skeletons, witches, ghouls, werewolves, and ghosts, and tools for building new cities for crafting your own adventures. Does this sound like a game that's up your alley? We know we're definitely interested in it. The next Insidious movie is releasing in theaters in summer of 2025. In wake of last year's box office hit Insidious: The Red Door, Sony has announced recently that the next installment in the Insidious franchise has been dated for a 2025 release. You can expect the untitled next movie in theaters August 29th, 2025. Deadline notes in their report that this particular project is not the previous announced spin-off movie, Thread, an Insidious Tale, which doesn't have yet a release date. Director James Wan's original Insidious movie in 2011 was followed by Insidious Chapter 2 in 2013, then Insidious Chapter 3 in 2015, Insidious: The Last Key in 2018, and last year's Insidious: The Red Door, which became the highest-grossing Insidious movie in the entire franchise. Needless to say, this franchise still has a lot of life left in it, so stay tuned for updates. Blumhouse gives new release dates for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Megan 2.0, and The Black Phone 2. Blumhouse has announced a trio of upcoming horror movies release dates recently, first of which is the official date for the sequel hit to the video game franchise Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will release in theaters on December 5th of 2025, available for streaming on Peacock the same day. The Emma Tammy directed Five Nights at Freddy's was Blumhouse's highest-grossing movie of all time. In other words, it's no surprise the sequel was so quickly greenlit. 2 other upcoming Blumhouse sequels have also received new dates, with Megan 2.0 now coming to theaters June 27th of 2025, previously announced May 16th of 2025, and then there's Black Phone 2, which had been set for theatrical release on June 27th of 2025. That date has been taken by Megan's sequel. It's now releasing on October 17th of 2025. What are your thoughts on these upcoming sequel films? We know we're looking forward to watching all of them. Jason Universe. Horror Inc. begins a new era of the Friday the 13th franchise, and here's the plan. We'll wait to see what happens with A24 and Peacock's planned Friday the 13th series, Crystal Lake, currently undergoing a showrunner change. Horror Inc. has announced Jason Universe via an exclusive report from ING, which is said to be the dawning of a new era from the original owners of the Friday the 13th franchise. So what does this mean, you ask? Well, IGN details in the surprising report, new Friday the 13th activations will span a wide range of platforms from entertainment to games, immersive experiences, merchandise, and more to be announced throughout 2024. For decades, Jason shocked and thrilled audiences who kept coming back for more. We're excited to work with Victor Miller and Mark Toberoff on new projects we'll announce in the upcoming months. Says the president of Horror Inc., we're focused on honoring the legacy while elevating the fan experience and appealing to today's horror audiences as we develop new ways to watch, interact, and engage with the Jason universe. With the unique ability to remain at the forefront of pop culture for 44 years, Jason continues to top the charts as one of the scariest villains of all time, with strong global awareness across multiple generations thanks to billions of TikTok views plus millions and millions of gamers and movie fans. We can't wait to introduce new Jason Universe activations to these amazing fans. Victor Miller is the writer of the original Friday the 13th, who won back the rights to the original horror classic several years back. That film's director, Sean Cunningham, has been battling Miller over the legal ruling ever since. Miller, Mark Toberoff, and Rink are joining forces for the Jason universe. It means the team has access to any and all existing elements of the Friday the 13th franchise. Same goes for the Crystal Lake series, which all three are involved with. But it doesn't mean they can make any new Friday the 13th movies. Former Crystal Lake showrunner Brian Fuller explained back in 2022, the movie rights are a completely different thing. They are tied up at New Line and are super messy. An official website for the Jason universe has been launched recently, where you can sign up to receive updates on the latest news from the new venture. The first 4 houses for this year's event of Universal Halloween Horror Nights have been revealed. First up is Slaughter Cinema 2. We can assume this is either demons in the movies, maybe a take on 1950s gangsters. Not really sure, but it does sound promising nonetheless. Second up is Goblin's Feast. Reminds me of Troll 2. Our guess is this is a continuing play on the medieval hype from Dueling Dragons, which we can only assume has ever-growing hype thanks to Dungeons & Dragons. The third house in the lineup is called Major Sweet's Candy Factory. It's not the term we were expecting, however, this could be a dark twist loosely based on Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. We'll have to stay tuned for details on that one. And last in this lineup is The Museum Deadly Exhibits. Maybe a dark twist on Night at the Museum? Universal always has a handful of their own original ideas for houses, and I'm glad we're getting these out of the way here. Some of the predictions we're looking at this year is a possibility of seeing the return of the Stranger Things 4 house, a possibility of a Beetlejuice house, and it's possible that we might even see the return of The Last of Us, considering how popular the show is and it's getting another season. Regardless of what comes, do you plan on heading to this year's event? And that's all the news I have for you today, my lovely fiends. Stay spooky, keep those claws sharp, and consume more souls of the living. I've been your host, Bumps in the Night, and remember that horror is a beautiful thing. We thank you for watching, and we'll scare you in the next one. If you haven't already done so, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with weekly news updates. Alright, bye!